Hey guys, welcome back to Salem, Cellar. So the past few weeks I've been watching a lot of movies, a lot of new movies, but a lot of movies on repeat. And I want to talk to you guys about what I've been streaming at the Cellar. I'll be right back. So I've been doing a lot of streaming lately. A streaming app that I've been using quite often is Tubi. I watched Last Shift recently because I watched Malum for the first time, so I wanted to give Last Shift another rewatch after. And yeah, I definitely liked Last Shift better. Malum just went places that I didn't really enjoy. Another movie that I watched was a rewatch is Anaconda. I'm getting into that summer horror mode, and Anaconda is one of those films with the water and snakes, and it's just so much fun. And I feel like no matter how many times I watch this movie, it's still just as great as the last time. It's very underrated. And I love this second Anaconda. I think it's like Blood Orchid or something like that. Orchid, I'm pretty sure it is. But I cannot find it streaming for free anywhere. It's bugging me. I'm just going to buy it. I'm just going to end up buying it because I'm dying to rewatch this movie. Deep Blue Sea is also on there if you're looking for a nice, fun shark movie for this summer. Definitely go with Deep Blue Sea. Love Deep Blue Sea. I haven't seen the sequel. I haven't heard good things about it, so I kind of just skipped it, but I love this movie. I just love shark films and shark films done right, and I felt like this one was done well. Another movie that I recently watched, it's on Paramount. I think Paramount Plus just added Showtime. So it gave me Wrong Turn from 2021. Now, I remember I first watched it when it came out. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It definitely was different from the other Wrong Turn films. But it kind of starts in a way where you feel like you're going to get kind of like inbred mountain people, like cannibals, and that kind of story. No, it is completely different. It is insane. It is so good, this movie. I probably watched it like 5 times in the last week because I'm insane. And every time I pick up on stuff that I missed the first time, and I really love the ending. The ending grew on me. At first I was like, okay, but like the more I watch it, the more I love it. I love the twist. It is violent, it is gory, it is bloody, but it has a really interesting story, a really good twist in it that if you watch the other Wrong Turn movies, you were just not going to see this coming. I did it. It completely kicked my butt, but I love it. I love this movie, and I will be watching it probably over and over and over again. I give it an 8 out of 10, and it's probably one of my favorite Wrong Turn films. I really liked the first one, but there's something about this film that it just took me to a place I didn't expect. And I always appreciate that in movies. I don't like predictability, and this to me wasn't. I loved it. So if you haven't seen Wrong Turn, the new Wrong Turn from 2021, definitely check this film out. I want more. I want more like it. And I think you guys will too after you watch it. Love, love, love that movie. So another streaming service that I've been watching a lot is Shudder. There's 2 movies that I recently watched, new movies. One is Brooklyn 45, which I did the trailer reaction for, and I actually did a little short, quick review. But I really did enjoy this movie. It takes place in one location, but it keeps you involved. The dialogue's really good. It's like a little kind of like a ghost story. A group of friends get together, and just crazy stuff happens. You're just invested the entire time. It is not boring at all. And the ending kind of leaves you hanging. Like, you want answers. Like, this is something that I've been having conversations about. Like, I want answers. I want more. Because you kind of have to just kind of make your own interpretation of like really what happened. But I feel like I know what happened. I don't want to spoil anything, but definitely check that out. It's Brooklyn 45 on Shudder. Another one is Unwelcome. I also did the trailer reaction for this and a short little review. But what this movie is about, it's a couple who moves to Ireland. The husband inherits an aunt's house that passed away, and in the backyard is goblins that if they don't feed on a daily basis, they will have a price to pay. This movie is gory. It is insane. I loved the plot. I loved the acting, the characters. It was crazy with a mixture of just like fun, good horror. Like, you get a really great shot of these goblins and they're kind of adorable and gross at the same time. But the final scene kind of left me like, WTF? Like, what just happened? And you kind of want more. Like, you kind of want to know more, like, what is going to happen now? You know, the wife is pregnant and you see her kind of like changing throughout the film. I don't want to give too much away, but at the end, it's just like it was just bugged out. It wasn't really a predictable movie. I could say that. I didn't feel like it was predictable, but I really did enjoy it a lot more than I thought. So if you haven't seen Brooklyn 45 and Unwelcome, definitely check both those movies out on Shudder. So I recently purchased Spiral. Now this is a spin-off to the Saw movies and the 9th installment. Now, so I'm a big Saw fan. So the first time I saw Spiral, I'm like, okay, this is okay. You know, I liked Chris Rock's performance and I loved the vibe of it, but the voice definitely threw me off. The twist at the end kind of threw me off, and then the traps were kind of lame. But I feel like it's one of those movies that the more I watch it, the more I'm kind of like, you know, falling in love with it. Yes, the traps are still terrible. The voice is still hideous. But I don't know, there's something about the way it's done, the soundtrack, Chris Rock, that makes it an easy, fun watch for me. Now, the opening trap is pretty horrendous. Yeah, it is definitely enjoyable. Probably the best trap of the entire movie. You'll see it in the trailer. It's the one with the tongue. Yeah, I would not survive that. I don't think really anybody could have survived it because I think he jumped off and I just don't think no way he was surviving either way. So that trap is definitely my favorite. The other traps aren't so great. And I think if they showed the traps a little bit more, then maybe they would have been a little bit more enjoyable, but you kind of like see a little shot of the trap happening and then the after effect. Like when in Saw movies, you kind of see like the whole thing most of the time. So yeah, it kind of like missed me on that. But overall, I do like this movie. It's not as great as like the other Saw films, but it gives me Saw with like a different vibe, like kind of a more urban vibe, which like I enjoyed. Like I said, I really enjoyed Chris Rock. I liked the opening scene when he's undercover. I don't know why, when they're talking about Forrest Gump, and I don't know why I like it. I like that scene, but it's just me being weird. But yeah, I recently purchased it and I'm not disappointed. I've been watching it a lot. Last but not least, Max, which used to be HBO Max, now has Evil Dead Rise streaming. Yes. I pre-ordered the 4K, completely forgot about it. It actually just came. But since the day it started streaming on Max, I've been watching it on a daily basis. Now, I watched this movie in the theaters and it was just next level horror. Like, I don't remember the last time I watched a film and felt scared and disgusted and nauseous. Maybe Hereditary probably was the last film I watched that made me feel like that. Like, I left that movie with my adrenaline pumping, my heart racing, feeling nauseous. It was definitely an intense film. It is very gory. I love that they took it out of the woods, out of the cabin with like friends, and they moved it to a more, city setting with a family. I really loved the change of landscape. The opening scene, when I first watched the movie, I did not like the opening scene. I don't know why I didn't like it. But after watching it a few times, I kind of like the opening scene now. I do. I don't know why my mind changed, but I like it. When she rips off, the scalp, it's like, ugh, so gross. And then when she starts floating, it's just like, this is so cool. I loved the ending, the characters, the cast. The death scenes were rough. They were rough for me. And I really think it was because I'm a mom, and just thinking of like when she's starting to turn to become like a deadite, and she says, don't let them get my babies. And that was just like, oh, that was like terrible. And then just to see what happens to everybody one by one, it's like, it's kind of sad, like, yeah, I'm soft now with kids, but it is kind of sad, because you just think, usually it's friends and they're hanging out in the cabin in the woods. Like, who cares if they all die? But now it's like a mom, her sister, her children. There's a really young child. So yeah, it was a little brutal for like the first time I watched it, but now I can kind of just like enjoy it. But boy, this is some horror film, probably my favorite horror film of 2023 so far. Hopefully these other movies beat it out, because there's so many movies coming out this year, but so far it's my favorite. It was really well done, and I want more. I want more of a story, and I want more movies. So yes, bravo. Thank you, Max, for putting this on streaming like really, really quick too. So yes, that is what I've been streaming at the Cellar. I've been having a very busy few weeks watching movies on repeat, but all really great films. If you haven't seen any of them, definitely check them out. I recommend every movie I listed today. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you're having a really great day. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following me on social media, and I will be right back.